Let's reimagine how we work. Let's reimagine how we live. Let's reimagine who we are. Let's not forget who that is, both at home and at work. And let's do whatever we can to really make the next phase of life and society even better.
Chandra, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I love your jacket, by the way.
Thank you.
Pretty
A
cool with like the push shoulders. Love it.
little bit of denim since that's also in right now.
Love it. But how are you anyway? How are things?
I'm great. I'm in a great place. I'm happy. We're making great changes in society and through people operations everywhere. So this is actually a great time to be in this space.
Amazing. Before we get into the podcast in more detail, tell everyone a little bit more about you personally and your journey to where we are now.
I am a purpose-driven leader, mission-driven leader, who's on a mission to really help reimagine the way we hire, right? There is an extreme representation gap for women, for people of color, for any other underrepresented group out there. And so I am on a mission to really help reimagine how people get hired and reimagine qualify. And I'm doing those things through human sustainability initiatives, such as my book. I'm helping to change the people and innovate in the workplace as well, so that we can bring both people and people operations, corporations together seamlessly to create value for both the people and the organizations.
Tell everyone a bit more about the book quickly, as you mentioned it just then.
Yeah, the book is called The Essential Upgrade, A Journey of Purpose, Pivots, and Power. I'm a huge proponent of growth, both professionally and personally. And I'm also a proponent of just really helping people figure out who they are and live their best lives, right? And so
Mm.
the purpose of this book, which is right here,
Nice.
the Essential Upgrade, is just to really provide some guidance
Mhm.
to those who are really wanting to embrace change and take themselves, their lives, their families, careers to the next level.
What is it that took you on this journey? Was there a specific moment in your life that you kind of came to this point? Like, what was it that inspired this new journey that you're on and the book?
Oh, goodness, a new journey? I would say that my entire life has been a series of essential upgrades, and I will continue to upgrade into that ultimate upgrade at the
When does it end? Like, what's the ultimate upgrade?
the ultimate upgrade.
Is that is that
But
is that going to be your next book?
I hope maybe. You never know, but in progress. But honestly, it is like going through different upgrades. Again, I started in foster care, was adopted, married, divorced, now a single mom.
Hmm.
But not just that, that's my personal life, but even in my professional life. I started my career as a high school Spanish teacher a long time ago, but made multiple strategic pivots to leading product development at multiple Fortune 100 companies. Also unlocking over 17 million in economic opportunity for mothers and women of color across the United States through upskilling, holistic, transformative programming, and things of that nature. So again, it's about upgrading. You should never stop. Life doesn't end until you end, really, honestly.
Hmm.
So this book is just a guide to continue to upgrade both your professional life and your personal life.
What would you say is the biggest challenge in people in terms of giving themselves that permission to upgrade or to allow themselves to be better, to you know not just settle?
Believing in themselves.
That's the biggest
That
challenge.
is,
Mm.
that is the hardest. That's the only thing that no one can do for us. And whatever we believe, we bring to fruition. So either you believe you can or you believe you can't.
You're right either
And
way.
yeah, you're right either way.
I love that one. I love that saying, by the way. I think if you believe you can, you believe you can't, you're right. Either
You're
way.
right. You're right either way. But even, I launched the book September 1st, but so many people just didn't understand that they didn't realize or kind of forgot about themselves and who they are and the dreams that they had previously and all of the tools that they have kind of gathered throughout their life they can really still continue to use and move forward. So that's just a little bit about the book, but it's a human
Hmm.
sustainability book. It's about growth, it's about transformation. And again, it doesn't end, but it's a guide to keep you moving forward throughout your life and throughout your journey.
Yeah. What is human sustainability?
It's about your wellness, taking care of yourself, but also growing. It's about how you grow throughout your journey, because if you don't grow, you cannot sustain. Just think of a plant that doesn't grow, right?
Hmm.
Or it's a tree that's cut, right? Like you have to continue to grow throughout this life. And to me, that is what human sustainability is. It's about growth, it's about wellness, it is about transformation and making sure that you are sustaining yourself so that you can help sustain your company, so that you can add value to yourself, so that you can add value to your company throughout your journey. And that just does not stop. You have to continue to grow. You have to continue to pour into yourself. You have to continue to invest in yourself in order to sustain.
No, I love that, because I feel like that's something I've always struggled with and continue to struggle with. Like, with my challenges with mental health, for example, I realized only not too long ago, really, that in order for me to be the best version of me for my wife, the best dad, the best husband, the best CEO, the best friend, I need to invest in Chris and take care of Chris first. Whereas for the longest time, I had this impression that I need to take care of everyone else, and I'm sort of an afterthought, if that makes sense,
Yeah,
as well, which is quite hard to kind of make that switch.
it is so hard to make that switch. But that is why we have so much burnout, especially in leaders, especially in our C-suite, right? And those who are really, the brain power, the strategic forces behind world-changing products, behind world-changing services, all of those things. So if you don't take care of yourself, you will not be able to continue to add value to your company and to your family and to everyone around you.
When you think about human sustainability, how does that flow into work-life balance, work-life blend? There's loads of versions that people use now.
Oh, work-life balance, and then it went to work-life
Yeah,
integration.
yeah.
Right? But it's all about who you are as a person. And if you don't take that time to figure out who you are and what works best for you, what career works best for you, what job works best for you, what type of environment works best for you, whether that's in office, at home, something hybrid, you really have to figure out what works best for you.
What's a practical way of doing that? Because when I have this conversation with friends and family, they're like, they don't know what they don't know. They don't
Mhm.
know what career actually is going to excite them, empower them. They don't know what, whether they would rather work from home or in office. What's a practical thing that people can do to discover that?
Number one, let's start with your purpose. And if you don't know your purpose, you need to spend some time in introspection. I'm a huge proponent of introspection. That means looking inside. There are so many things in the world right now that want to take our attention away from us and who we are as people, as humans, as moms, as dads, as whatever, right? But we give so much of ourselves to everyone else, and if we don't spend any time alone, we won't know which direction to go forward in. We'll be distracted, thrown off course, fall in a pitfall, who knows, right? So introspection is so important, where you can just spend 10 minutes away, just in silence, taking a little walk. You just really need to dig deep down inside of yourself to find out who it is you are, what you want, and what's your next move.
Hmm.
So introspection is the key.
And so, what kind of questions should you be asking yourself in those moments?
What did I like to do as a kid? What excited me as a kid? Right? Because when we were children, which is why I love Disney movies, when we were children, like we were taught that you could be anything, like there was a world of possibilities. The sky is the limit. But as you get older, you have all of these other external forces that are saying, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't do that because you're a woman. Oh, you can't do that because you're a woman of color, or just whatever. Everything's telling you what you cannot do.
I can relate to that, by the way, because I went on a sort of a leadership getaway retreat a few years back, and it was called Purpose to Impact. That was one of the workshops that we did, was kind of revisiting your childhood, and to your point, figuring out what you really loved and enjoyed. And then I realized that it did actually flow directly into my current role. So I'll give you an example. As a kid, I used to paint, I used to draw, I used to sculpt, I used to love to create things out of empty boxes and sculptures and stuff like that. That's what I do now here at HR Leaders. I create content, I create moments, I create, whether it's video or audio. So and that's what gives me energy and what I love to do. And I didn't even realize that connection. And a lot of the things I was doing was actually sucking away energy. And now I've replaced myself in all of those roles. I've either hired in those roles or my co-founder Shane has now taken on. So now I'm kind of really leaning into all of the things like sales. I love sales. I love business development. I love creativity, anything creative. And all of a sudden, our business just started growing so much quicker. And the same thing for Shane. He realized a lot of things that he was doing is actually the opposite of me, where he's kind of in the finer detail. He loves managing all of the programs and building and managing the operations and the finance. But we had to take a long look back in order to look forward.
Exactly. If you don't look back, you don't know where you're going.
What about, so I know something you're super passionate about is skills-based hiring. Is something we talk about a lot on the podcast. Firstly, what is skills-based hiring?
Yeah, skills-based hiring is hiring and sourcing for skills, not degrees, not job titles, all of those traditional things, right? You are looking for an attitude, an aptitude, skills that they've done. You're looking for real life experience, right? I mentioned earlier that I started my career as a high school Spanish teacher a long time ago, but made multiple strategic pivots, multiple pivots, right? High school Spanish teacher. Then I went and, developed online programs for universities. Then I developed training material for doctors who were doing robotic hair transplantations, right? And then it just keeps going on. But there are these building blocks, these skills that I collect in my bag and I take with me along my journey, right? And just because I may not have had a title of, let's say, marketing manager, doesn't mean I'm not a marketer, because I am. I've been doing it my entire life. I've had businesses before previously, but I've also led marketing through other initiatives that I've, undertaken. So you want to ensure that you're not losing those skills, but also you may get someone who has all of the degrees in the world, all the certifications, all the credentials, but they've never actually even used it and have no real life experience to apply and be able to be agile and pivot when needed, especially during the pandemic, when many businesses went under because they could not pivot, had been doing the same thing for so many times, doing the same thing for so long. But having a team of individuals with different types of skill sets, many different types of skill sets, right? Different lived experiences, all of those things can come together and really create magic. And I've seen it happen before. Even I've pivoted multiple times that I've been able to pivot because someone's hired me because of my skills, not because of the degrees that I've had. Extremely important. But again, it is allowing and creating pathways for non-traditional talent, for underrepresented talent, and for really those who need it most.
But how can companies implement a skills-based hiring approach in their organization?
Yeah, definitely. Number one, let's do an assessment to figure out where the skills gaps are. Let's figure out if there are any biases in your hiring practices right now. Let's also figure out what jobs it may not be every job that can do skills-based hiring, right? But let's figure out what jobs that we can start with to really dig in and kind of see where we can make some magic happen, right? So it starts with an assessment. Which roles would be best for this? And then we can grow from there. But at least you really have to start, and you really have to be committed to creating pathways for non-traditional. And I'm looking for another word for non-traditional talent, because I'm a non-traditional talent, non-traditional life. But just creating pathways for something different, for something for the future, for sustainability of the company, for sustainability of humans, for inclusivity. It all goes together, and skills-based hiring is really the way in order to achieve many of those pillars in that framework.
Yeah. Do you see any drawbacks to the approach?
I would say the challenges would be more of corporations who have been doing things one way for years.
Yeah.
But those startups, those who want to be innovative, right? They are ready for the challenge. They want to learn, and they want to be at the forefront of something new and something groundbreaking. I would say challenge large corporations who have lots of red tape, who may take 10 years to change. But we do have those startups, we do have those smaller companies, and also I've worked with major Fortune 10 companies who are also leading the way in this skills-based hiring, i.e., Google has a new upskilling initiative,
Hmm.
right? Grow with Google, their upskilling initiative, but they are also leading the way with helping companies understand why skills are important, why upskilling is important, but also why hiring non-traditional talent and finding new ways to bring new talent in is
Yeah.
beneficial.
Well, also they're doing it because it's good business, right? They're not doing it just because out of kindness of their heart, right? You have the diversity of thought that comes in, which leads to new innovation. You also, if you're not hiring for skills, you're missing a huge pool of talent. If you're only hiring because this person has these specific degrees, you're missing a giant pool of incredible talent that you would otherwise miss out on. And now companies are being forced to do that because they're like, wow, okay, we're really missing out and lagging behind the competition if we don't have a skills-based hiring approach. And then of course they're using technology now, and there's many great platforms out there. Like Greenhouse Software, who we both know are friends of ours, that allow them to systematize that and make sure you have a process that doesn't have bias that creeps in. And I think that's one of the benefits of skills based approach is the lack of bias in the process, right? I've been guilty of that myself, like where I'm super busy as an executive. I've got my friends in my network that I know that are sort of easy to reach out to, right? And it's sort of tempting to just make a quick, okay, I could spend a few weeks and do it the right way, or I could hire my friend over here I know, or someone in my network, if that makes sense, right? Who may not
Right,
necessarily be the best fit, but they're the most convenient fit.
right.
And whether people want to admit that or not, you know who you are listening, right now, and we've all been in that position, right? How do you think that this impacts employee satisfaction in terms of them working in an organization where the company has a skills-based approach?
There are a lot of factors in employee satisfaction, right? But when companies, and this is what I've done in the past, right? Especially when companies have put out statements on their DEI or put out statements on
Mm-hmm.
whatever they believe in, right? Team members want to see that in action. So they want to see you bringing in diverse talent. They want to see you bringing in non-traditional talent. They want to see it in action. And that really helps them understand that you value them as people, you value them as employees, and that you really walk the walk that you talk,
Mm-hmm.
which is extremely important. It helps increase the trust that your employees have in you, but it also helps increase the retention rate.
People are proud, right? They're proud to work for an organization that values them, and they can really bring their true self to work and feel like, this is an organization that I can be proud to work. When you wrote the book, what was the main thing that you wanted people to take away from it?
That you don't have to stay where you are. Don't have to stay where you are professionally or personally. I, again, high school Spanish teacher, pivoted multiple times. But in 2014, I made the decision to pack my bags, my family up from Louisiana because I couldn't get what I wanted, the job that I wanted. It wasn't there at the time. It might be there today. It wasn't there at the time. The life that I wanted, I couldn't get. But I packed my bags and I moved to San Francisco Bay Area. In that journey, I journaled. I have 2 notebooks that I keep with me all the time. Like, I journaled the process, the good, the bad. What did I do to keep my head above the water? What did I do to keep and to remain positive through all these challenges? What did I do to learn, to get skills? I kept 2 journals since 2014 that detailed my journey
Wow.
and how I was able to overcome, and I turned it into my book.
Oh wow. So that's already a good practical thing for everyone listening, journaling. But listen, we have to save the rest of the book for everyone. Before I let you go, sort of one parting piece of advice, and then where can people grab a copy of the book and also connect with you if they want to work with you personally?
Let's reimagine how we work. Let's reimagine how we live. Let's reimagine who we are. Let's not forget who that is, both at home and at work. And let's do whatever we can to really make the next phase of life in society even better. And we can do that at work and at home. Let's bring the two together. And you can find me at chandrasanders.co or Instagram, all those things, officially Chandra.
And I'll definitely say follow Chandra on LinkedIn as well. I'll add that one in for you as well. But wherever you're listening, everyone, those links, wherever you're watching or listening, all of those links are in the description. So make sure you go grab a copy of the book, go connect with Chandra as well. Look, listen, I love your energy. I love what you're doing. I always love speaking to people that are living their why and their purpose. Clearly, you're on that journey as well. And I wish you all the best until we next speak. But I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate you.